Good evening and welcome to Clocked In. We have a lot of interesting stories coming up tonight on the program. But first, let's see what's making news this Monday, 17th of October.
Vincent Stanford, the man sentenced to life in jail for the murder of Leeton schoolteacher Stephanie Scott, had a history of violent and murderous thoughts towards everyone around him. The 26-year-old told a forensic psychologist he first thought of killing when he was only 7 or 8 years old.
The world's oldest ever panda in captivity has been euthanized at the Hong Kong theme park where she lived, as her health had deteriorated. Ocean Park said in a statement that the veterinarian euthanized 38-year-old Zsa Zsa to prevent further suffering and for ethical reasons.
Australian cycling champion Anna Meares has announced her retirement after a stunning career, including 6 Olympic medals. Meares said it was hard to hang up her cleats after 22 years in the sport, but is excited about the next chapter of her life.
This year's Gold Coast 600 is shaping up as the best for celeb spotting as A-listeria sweeps the city. The Coast Hollywood artist-in-residence Chris Hemsworth leads the roll call of film, music, television, business and sports stars expected to make tracks for this year's Supercars event.
You know, I heard they're trying to get people to stay away between, I think it was 9 and 6 p.m, just because of the heavy traffic in the area. It's, like you said, ridiculous.
Well, it's
10
all
minutes.
coned off, it goes to
Yeah.
one lane, it's a bit of a mess really.
Yeah.
It's been hard for people that live in that area, isn't it? It must be really loud, like all the cars are pretty loud. Look, putting all of that aside, it's bringing a lot of tourism to the Gold Coast as well, so that in itself is a pretty big positive.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, apart from all the, bogans.
Yeah. Beachmont Primary School has achieved the best NAPLAN results in Queensland for years 3 and 5. An improvement in overall results has restored community faith and has resulted in an increase for enrolments for 2017. Courtney Noakes, teacher from Beachmont Primary School, explains what kind of preparation is put in for the test and what kind of impact it has on the students.
I'm a 5-6 teacher and the PE teacher as well, and so that means I have a lot of responsibilities with the leadership class and organising all of our events that we hold, which are a lot. Basically it's a test that looks at literacy and numeracy. It's held over 3 days and they have 2 literacy-based tests and 1 numeracy-based test, and it kind of helps us to see where the kids are sitting based on the rest of Australia and where they're sitting on, if they're averaging out at the right kind of spot or if they're a little below, a little above, we can cater for them something that they're not expecting. We don't want them to get there and go, whoa, what is this? I don't know what to do. Yeah. So we give them a lot of practice tests to get them used to the questions, the way they're written, how to answer them, multiple choice, decoding skills. So kind of working to eliminate a few and go for the one that sounds the closest if they're not 100% sure. Being at Beachmont, it's more of a school family than a school business, which a lot of big schools are. They're kind of more business orientated. So I think that's a really original experience that the kids can have, that they're growing up and going through schooling as a group with a family. Generally on the Gold Coast, people don't know where Beachmont is. I had to explain to people where Beachmont is and they just didn't know. But I think being in the newspaper, people have gone, oh, where's that? And then they probably looked it up and got to know it a little bit better. Well, with NAPLAN testing, it's important to know that it's a point in time, one-time test. It doesn't measure the whole student. It doesn't show everything that they are able to do, what they are good at. So it's not the be-all or end-all of their educational career.
There's a concern that NAPLAN has a negative impact on students as it causes distress and anxiety leading up to the test. Although many teachers believe that NAPLAN test has a positive influence on students, as it equips them with skills they can use in test situations that will ultimately help them throughout their schooling careers. The principal of Beachmont Primary School, Belinda Colohan, believes it is the right preparation that encourages the students and allows them to relax in test conditions, helping them to perform to their best ability.
My full name is Belinda Colohan. My position at the school is principal. I've been here for 18 months now. NAPLAN is a national assessment program for literacy and numeracy, and it's done nationwide, so across Australia. And it targets children in year 3, 5, 7 and year 9. We actually start our NAPLAN preparation a semester beforehand. So the children now currently in grade 2 and grade 4 are undergoing NAPLAN preparation. And we started the whole semester and we focus on test preparedness, and we also have a really good intervention program that focuses on the STRIVE program and writing on demand. This year we had the kids were very optimistic about the test. They were excited about this test, a little bit too excited at some points, but the results speak for themselves across the board with their grade 3s and grade 5s, and I think that extra preparation is what they need. So it's not the unknown test or the NAPLAN test, it's actually something that they've done before and they've seen it before.
It's teachers like Courtney Noakes that have an influence on students and the kind of experience they have during NAPLAN.
That's really good, like, to know. People, you know, they assume that if you go to a private school, you're going to have a better education and you're going to do better in life. But it's like to have this little community, this little school, come out with these amazing results. It kind of just is like, you know,
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter if you don't have a private education or go to the best school. You know, you're still going to get a really good education.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that because the top 10 schools in NAPLAN were state schools.
Oh, wow.
Really?
But then again, I think it could actually just come down to like majority of schools are state schools and there is like a smaller number of private schools on the Gold Coast.
In primary school, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Queensland has recently been named the nation's capital for Sunday brunching. But what do we prefer to help with those mid-morning cravings? Turns out we have moved on from old favourites like bacon and eggs and prefer more exotic, healthier alternatives. The Gold Coast is famous for fun, its laid-back lifestyle and its thriving health food scene. According to locals, nothing is better than diving into a nutritious meal on a beautiful Sunday brunch. It is evident more than ever of the emerging health food scene on the Gold Coast. Healthy eating cafes used to be far and few between the Gold Coast, but now they are everywhere, delivering delicious nutrition to the community. I decided to check out the best eateries on the Gold Coast that provide beautiful, organic and healthy meals. I stopped in to talk to the restaurateur behind one of the Gold Coast's most beautiful breakfast eateries, the Cardamom Pod, Sean Pinnell.
We love eating raw and organic food because the produce has real flavour and all the nutrients are still intact. And raw food is great to give your body a break and of course the way that it makes us feel. Our most popular dish is definitely the lavish and colourful acai bowl and also the other breakfast bowls, the raw peanut butter and jelly bowl and the pitaya bowl.
At Cardamom Pod, prepare yourself for a beautiful, fresh and delicious start to the day. Every item on the menu is delivered like a work of art that truly tastes as good as it looks. Located at the Bricks Works, this vegan cafe boasts an impressive menu with its passionate staff and baristas brewing the best coffee and food.
People will really love our cafe because we make a good effort with vegan, vegetarian food and to show that this is totally satisfying as an alternative to meat-based diet.
Local food blogger Emily Major Gerard knows the best cafes on the Gold Coast and where to get value for money.
We're spoiled for choices here on the Gold Coast. There's so many new places to try that everyone wants to go out on the weekend and try a new spot.
After a busy week, Sunday is the one-day week where people like to relax and enjoy time away from the kitchen.
There's so many options here on the Gold Coast that I think there's something that suits everyone and everyone's budget as well.
I spoke to a few locals who love a healthy, nutritious breakfast and told me what really makes the best brunch.
Yeah, there's nothing like going out for a nice Sunday breakfast. As long as there's a good coffee involved and it's not too expensive, I enjoy it a lot.
Clean and healthy living is the way to go. Raw foods provide delicious dishes and nutritious alternatives for those with intolerance to gluten, dairy and meat, or for those who just want some whole food on the Gold Coast.
This is delicious.
The Gold Coast's thriving health food and restaurant culture plays a key part in the state's roaring Sunday brunching scene. From the north to south, the Gold Coast has so many different types of cafes and restaurants to suit your lifestyle. A long, leisurely brunch on a Sunday sets the tone for the remainder of the day and provides the perfect end to your weekend. When the morning has escaped you and you aren't just ready to jump into lunch, Gold Coasters have decided a healthy, nutritious brunch is their best option. So there you have it, guys. A good coffee and a delicious meal helps to make Sunday a little bit more enjoyable.
I love Burleigh Social, Paddock.
Yeah.
The Burleigh Socials are good.
Yeah, well, they do everything in like takeaway containers and stuff, so it's a bit of like an outdoory kind of feeling, just that Gold Coast vibe, not posh, no sit down.
Yeah, do you know what I think the biggest thing with like eating out these days is actual presentation of the food.
Definitely.
And
They
like
actually
the
make them look
atmosphere
like
of the,
work of art.
Yeah,
It's
like the
incredible.
atmosphere of the cafe
Yeah.
that you're in. Like I always find the Social Brew in Burleigh's really nice with all the hanging plants.
And Cardamom
really
Pod,
good.
the new one that's
Cardamom
open,
Pod's
good.
their acai bowls, just a work of art.
For a full list of our top Sunday brunching cafes on the Gold Coast, check it out at our website www.clockedin/Sunday brunching. We will be back straight after this short ad break.
Changing the toilet roll is something that no one really likes doing. Luckily, new Kleenex Cottonelle Long Roll has been designed to last for absolutely ages. It's much longer, but still fits perfectly in your holder. It's soft and strong, and of course, it's lab tested for less roll changes.
Welcome back. Well, dating in your 30s can be tough, and now there are a million ways to meet someone, which sometimes can be worse. With over 2.2 million people online looking for love each month, it's hard to believe people are still struggling to meet Mr. Right. What's going on? I remember dating in my early 20s. It was fun and exciting, and if it didn't work out, well, that's okay. You just move on to the next guy. But once you hit 30, things become a lot more serious and a lot more competitive, especially when the ABS have just released data showing there are 96 males for every 100 females on the Gold Coast.
That's ridiculous.
I spoke to recently turned 30 Kat Shepherd about the life of a singleton on the Gold Coast and why she's finding it hard to meet a man.
I'm still single because my standards are too high and I'm not going to settle for somebody that's not worth my time.
Hello, Ms. Lady.
When I was on Tinder, if their first photo wasn't just of themselves and it wasn't eye-catching, then I'd just be swiped to the next.
I also talked to 32-year-old Travis Whitaker, a serial dater and an avid Tinder user, about his online dating woes.
It's just fun being single, but you get to that point where, you know, you got to meet that right person, and I'm trying to at the moment. Tinder, yeah, I've downloaded it like maybe once or twice, if that, every now and then, but you know, it's a waste of time really. You go out on dates and they're pretty much, I don't know, girls are on Tinder to get like free Mexican and then go out to Thai and then not text you back or anything. I don't care if they don't text me back, but yeah, sometimes they should text me back.
On average, Tinder users spend 35 minutes swiping through 135 profiles daily.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
To get some advice on the dating scene, I spoke to professional dating coach Lynn Poole, who believes dating is a skill that needs to be learned.
I think that one of the biggest problems with girls that come to me in their 30s is they're quite panicked. You know, they think that the biological clock is ticking and, you know, that they're getting older and they kind of force the issue. So rather than just sitting back and letting the guy chase the girl, what they're actually doing is pursuing the guy. And inevitably, they're actually scaring the guy away. If you meet a guy out or you meet a guy online, once you've given him your phone number, I would say a maximum of 5 text message exchanges. It's exhausting.
After the 5th message, ignore everything until such time as he says, would you like to catch up for a date? I decided to play matchmaker and set Travis and Kat up on a blind date.
I really like your outfit.
Yeah, seagulls.
You look like you're dressed up for the occasion. It's nice.
Oh, well, you know, where we're going, babe, but...
Please tell me we're not going to the Burleigh Bears home ground.
I'm probably just going to get like a bucket of chicken, like 10 for $10. Like, what do you want?
Can I just get a burger, I guess?
Yeah, the cheapest one's just that plain one there with no drink. I'll grab you that. But just give us like, it's like $11, but just give us 10 or something, that's sweet.
Do you ever go down to Bella Hill or anything, or?
Or I've watched them play a few times, but yeah, look, team's not that good.
Let's see how things went.
This has possibly been the worst experience I've ever been on. If he calls me, there is no way I'm even going to answer the phone.
She seemed pretty impressed. Like, chicks like a laid-back guy, takes them to KFC and stuff, you know?
So I probably wasn't the best at playing matchmaker this time, but was good to see these guys giving it a go and meeting someone new. And for anyone interested, Travis has left his contact number on our website.
Tinder is just so different for men and women. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel like I'd ever feel comfortable to
I think it
use
is
Tinder.
instilling bad dating and relationship
Definitely,
habits into a lot of the
definitely.
younger generation.
Yeah.
The fact that you can be talking to all these people at once and, you know, scroll through people on appearances, like it is instilling the wrong
definitely.
message about how to go
Definitely, yeah.
around dating and marriage.
Currall-based Ironman Matt Bevilacqua recorded back-to-back wins in one of the toughest and most grueling races, hotly contested with only the world's top 50 paddlers selected to compete in the race. This year, Bevilacqua not only took out the Molokai to Oahu World Paddleboard Contest, but smashed the race record. 24-year-old Matt Bevilacqua said there was no doubt he felt pressure going into this year's race to defend his title, but perhaps it was the pressure that worked in his favour as Bevilacqua went home with more than just a win, finishing the 52-kilometre race in 4 hours and 29 minutes and smashing the previous record by more than 10 minutes, stating that it was a feeling like no other he had ever experienced.
Only a paddler knows that feeling, and you know, you really just feel like this is me in the open ocean all by myself. Nothing matters. You know, you're out of life. Doesn't really exist. It's just you on the board, and you're surfing your way to another island. It's yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling, and it's something I felt for the first time last year.
There's something out there, and I can't explain it. It's an unreal place for me to become very authentic with who I am and what I'm doing in my life.
The Kauai Channel is one of the deepest channels in Hawaii with a depth of 2,300 feet. Locals know the stretch of open ocean as the Channel of Bones due to its extremely challenging conditions.
Nothing has ever made me feel as happy as the Channel has, and nothing has provided me with as much pain as the Channel has.
Matt says he believes his win came from not only the months of tough training sessions leading up to the race, but said he believes he simply enjoyed the race the most, saying his family have always been his biggest and greatest support. Now shifting his focus to the Coolangatta Gold held locally on the Gold Coast in just 2 weeks' time. We wish Matt all the best for the Coolangatta Gold.
Not just like physically, but also mentally. Like you said, people have had to pull out because they've had sharks behind them.
Yeah.
Like I'm scared of the ocean. Like I don't go in there. I'm so scared of sharks that.
I feel like the Gold Coast though is a great breeding ground for, you know, heaps of sporting surfing stars.
Yeah.
You know, just think about the amount of people that have actually come out of the Gold Coast and gone on to events like this.
Yeah.
Just the conditions here.
Well, I mean, of the 50 that were selected, I think about 25 of them, so almost 50% were Australian paddlers as well. Yeah,
That's huge.
So you know, for them to all get over to Hawaii and have their boards transferred over there and everything, it's a massive, massive race, and yeah, it was quite a prestigious one for him to win. That's all we have time for tonight, so we'll see you tomorrow on Clocked In.